Have you ever just, you know, stared at a blank page or maybe a half-finished project, feeling completely stuck?
Oh, definitely. Or wondering when something's really done,
Yeah.
not just stopped.
Exactly. Is it finished or is it actually resolved?
Right.
It's a tricky one. Well, I've been digging into these excerpts from On Something, and honestly, they've got some fascinating, maybe even surprising takes on creativity, process, and, well, finding some real satisfaction in what we do. It's like a little gold mine of really direct, punchy observations. So that's what we're going to unpack today. There's one idea that really jumped out at me, and it feels, well, almost backward at first. It's this. If you don't know what you should be doing, do something. Your time wouldn't have been wasted any more than if you did nothing. It feels like permission to just move, right?
It really does, yeah. We often feel we need this, perfect plan before starting anything. We get paralyzed. But this suggests the action itself, even if it feels a bit random, is productive. It totally reframes that idea of wasted time.
It does. It completely flips that pressure we feel to be super efficient right from the start. Because then the source talks about creativity as this accumulation.
Accumulation.
If you just consistently do something, anything, and you record it somehow over a year, you'd have voluminous information to draw from.
That's the key, the recording part.
Yeah. And that pile of stuff isn't just junk. It can spark new ideas or might even, lead you naturally into working in series.
That's where the real power is, I think. It's not aimless busy work. It's acknowledging that every little bit you record, a sketch, a note, whatever, becomes a data point, a resource.
An investment.
Exactly. An investment that grows. You're basically building your own library of potential, giving yourself stuff to work with later that just wouldn't exist if you waited for that perfect lightning bolt of inspiration.
Okay, and sticking with that theme of doing, there's another bit here that really made me pause. It's about process and purpose. When you tell someone how something was made, you tell them why something was made. The how is the why. We usually separate those, don't we? The what and the why.
Yeah.
But this collapses them. What's the real significance there? Seeing process as purpose.
Well, I think we often imagine the why as this big abstract mission statement, sometimes disconnected from the actual work. But this implies your method, the way you do things, isn't just how you get there. It's the purest expression of your intention, of your rationale.
Like action speaking louder than words.
Precisely. Think about, say, a really careful craftsman compared to someone just rushing. Their how tells you their why without a single word needing to be spoken. It makes the everyday actions meaningful.
And that links straight to mastery, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you're really good at something, truly skilled in a craft.
You're driven to do it?
Yeah. You want to do it and you probably want to share that knowledge, pass it on. The process itself becomes the motivation, almost more than the end result. The doing is the reward.
That's spot on. It suggests true mastery isn't just about the final object, but about being completely immersed in the how. The how is like the physical proof of the why, your values, your care, your discipline. It means you can't really pull the artist and the art apart because how they create is tied to why they create.
Okay, so shifting from our own creative process.
Yeah.
Let's think about how we engage with something like, say, visual art. The sources mentioned this interesting point. It's nice if sculpture looks like something you already know. That sounds simple, but there's more to it, isn't there?
Oh, for sure. It's not just a casual remark. We know intuitively that familiarity pulls us in, right? Whether it's art or anything.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And the sources point out how artists sometimes deliberately tap into that. It makes you wonder, though, for anyone creating something, where's that balance?
Balance between what?
Between using familiarity to connect and just being predictable or derivative. How do you innovate using the familiar?
That's a great question. Well, the source actually gives a perfect example. Claus Oldenburg. He absolutely nailed this. He took things everyone knows, clothespins, baseball bats, a hamburger, an ice cream cone, utterly mundane stuff.
And blew them up.
And made them into these huge sculptures. Instantly recognizable, right? So that moment of, oh, that reminds me of, that's the hook.
That's the access point.
Yeah, it makes the art feel more accessible, friendly, and inviting.
And that's the brilliance, isn't it? He bridges that gap between the sometimes intimidating world of art, with a capital A, and just everyday life. He uses that shared visual language, so his work connects widely. You don't need an art history PhD to feel something, to have a reaction. It's a smart way to make complex ideas feel welcoming.
Okay, so bringing it back to our own work, let's talk about finishing things. That moment of completion. The sources make this really interesting distinction between finishing and resolving a project.
This is crucial.
It says there's always a sense of satisfaction in finishing something, but also in resolving it. The latter doesn't always happen. I really had to sit with that difference.
It's a huge difference, isn't it? Because we often use those words interchangeably, but finishing can just mean stopping.
Right, like you ran out of time or
just got bored, yeah. But resolving, that suggests something deeper, an internal sense that it's complete, that the work itself feels whole, truly done from your perspective as the creator,
Right.
not just shelved.
Yes, that's exactly the point the source makes. You can finish something just because you lost interest, but that doesn't mean it's resolved.
Right.
An artist, according to this view, is aiming to resolve the work, meaning, like he says, every time I look at it, I know that it's both finished and resolved. It's a different kind of satisfaction, isn't it?
Totally different. It's that feeling that nothing more needs to be done.
Yeah,
it's right.
Yeah.
And it shifts the focus, doesn't it? Away from just hitting a deadline or ticking a box towards an internal quality check. Are we just clearing the decks? Or are we actually bringing this thing to a state of real coherence?
That internal standard.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, and linking back to that very first idea of just do something,
Yeah.
here's another really practical bit of advice from the sources for when you feel stuck. At the very least, you can make something you made before.
Huh. Okay, that sounds almost like cheating, but I see where it's going.
Right. But it's brilliant. It pushes back against that constant pressure to be original all the time.
And it encourages working in series or making multiples.
Exactly.
So what looks like repetition on the surface is actually a way to keep learning, to keep evolving.
Precisely. You're not just mindlessly repeating. You're refining, noticing things, finding new angles within something you already know. It feels really freeing if you're facing like a creative block.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off needing a brand new idea every single day.
And it connects so well to that accumulation idea we talked about earlier.
Mhm.
The source gives this lovely example.
The tree.
The tree. Taking a photograph of the same tree over the course of a year every month.
Simple but effective.
It's something that you did before, technically, but each one is somehow different. Same subject, but a totally new image each time because of the light, the season.
The subtle changes.
Yeah. It shows iteration isn't just repeating. It's this quiet, ongoing discovery process.
You're finding those small variations, the unexpected details that only show up when you look closely and repeatedly. Each photo isn't just a copy. It's an observation of change. It's building knowledge quietly, observation by observation, into this valuable body of work. You learn something new from doing the seemingly familiar thing again.
Just do something, even if you don't know the end goal. Trust that it's accumulating, building this resource for the future.
Action creates clarity.
Then we saw how the process, the how you do something, isn't separate from the why. It actually defines it. It gives meaning to the work itself.
Making the mundane matter.
Then we looked at how familiarity works, especially in art, making things accessible and inviting, using what people already know as a bridge.
Like Oldenburg sculptures.
Exactly. And finally, that really crucial difference between just finishing something and truly resolving it, aiming for that deeper sense of completeness in your own work.
Yeah, that internal satisfaction.
Right.
And taken together, these ideas really offer a less pressured way to think about creativity and getting things done, wouldn't you say?
I think so.
They encourage you to maybe rethink how you tackle things, whether it's a huge project or just, everyday tasks. It's about seeing how every action can contribute to something bigger.
Okay, so as we finish up this deep dive, here's something for you to maybe mull over. If every recorded effort, every how, really does feed into a larger why, what forgotten somethings are lurking in your own past? Old projects, notes, ideas.
Things you abandoned.
Maybe things you abandoned, yeah. Could you revisit them? Not just to tick them off a list, but maybe to find that resolution we talked about. What new insights might pop up just by doing something, again, maybe something familiar, and just paying attention to the subtle differences this time around? Turning what felt like maybe wasted effort back then into your most valuable creative fuel now.